The rising cost of housing in Metro Atlanta is forcing many teachers to move further away from the schools where they work every day.
That's right. So in tonight's Affording Atlanta, Jonathan Martin, he shares the story of one teacher trying to find a home that fits her budget.
I live about a minute.
Yeah.
About two.
Yeah, we can do that.
An apartment, Hillcrest Apartments. I had even looked at some houses that they renovated in this area.
DeKalb County teacher Clacy Dawkins has decades of experience in the classroom, and she's done her homework when it comes to finding her first home.
These are the new houses that I wanted to live in.
But the price point where she'd like to live in East Atlanta is a tough sell.
Trying to find that perfect home or that perfect area where I can be centrally located and also go to my job in a normal community.
Why has it been so challenging?
Down payment assistance, closing costs, things that as a teacher, it's just very difficult to do that, to have that kind of cash on hand.
Initiatives like Teacher Next Door, Homes for Teachers, and Georgia Dream are designed to be part of the solution to help Metro Atlanta educators with down payments or closing costs. But even with the help, Clacy says the price of home ownership is out of reach for many teachers.
Okay, a couple things here that I wanted to cover on this story because it pertains to real estate, and you guys know that I love real estate. But it is becoming one of those things that is being a little tricky and to navigate if you are inexperienced or something like that. Even for experienced people, you still, you still get these hiccups every now and again. So before we get into that, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. I appreciate that. I always say thank you. I don't take it for granted. Thank you guys so much. I don't know why we haven't been in, and I say we as a collective, like the entire country. Why haven't we been able to figure this out when it as it relates to teachers being able to afford a home? And you have other categories you could throw in there too, but we're just gonna focus on teachers. To me, that's a no-brainer. And as a real estate person, I just off just off the top of my head, I'm like, doesn't seem to be that hard to me. Why not let them do the same program that we do for the veterans? Uh, Zero down, zero interest loans, backed by the government. Why not do something like that? Are um, teachers are very, at least the teachers that I've met. I don't have any data to back this up, but I think this is why means so much to me is because my grandmother was a teacher and my mother-in-law was a teacher, and I've just had lots of teaching in my life. It doesn't seem to be that challenging to do a similar program, zero down payment, because usually the barrier to a home is a down payment. And let's just say they have all their ducks in a row. Clearly, this woman has put her time in and more seasoned. This should be a no-brainer. Now, am I saying you can go put zero down and go buy McMansion on a teacher's salary? No, I don't think that. But I also think most teachers don't want that either. She sounds like she just wanted a similar, cute home, maybe 3 bed, 2 bath type situation, uh, and be good. To me, it doesn't seem that hard. Like, just go ahead and whatever we have to do to make that happen, let's just do it. Now, you still have to meet all the qualifications, right? You still got to do, because the last thing we want is to get teachers in the bad spot to where maybe they have student loan debt or something like that. And I don't know. Each case needs to be a case by case, but by and large, I don't know why you can't make affordability easy, just like that. And to me, that would be a winning issue. I don't think people are going to fight you for teachers having housing. And typically, you want to try and keep them as close to the schools as possible, right? To where they're not having to commute into wherever they teach. They can, and let's just say the teacher that maybe they're in a higher area, homes are a little more higher. Maybe they got to go to the next area over. Okay, well, that's understandable. We can figure it out. It's not something that's not figure outable. Like, you can figure it out. Like, just put the legislation or whatever needs to happen in place and get it done. And I think you would encourage more people to get into teaching as well, because as we all know, teaching is not a high paying gig. And you can have the conversation, rightfully so, about teachers unions and all that type of stuff. That I might even agree with you. I don't know much about it. I haven't really you know, my best friend is also a teacher, and he left teaching to go to the military. Not that that's funny, but it's just like, man, he had to leave a job where he was serving to go find another job where he's serving and making more money serving, when that was a good person that was doing a great job in his prospective field. And now that's one less teacher when we're already like behind the curve. Why? Anyway, you get where I'm going with that. We need to figure this out. And this is what I talk about when politicians lose the plot, because it's these basic things that I just think that we get wrong. And it's like, why? I really want to know why. I'm not asking like to be funny or anything like that. I genuinely, sorry, I can't talk today. I genuinely don't understand why it's so complicated to get some things that are just home runs. You can get a home run, like get that done yesterday. And not everyone may qualify, or maybe you got to spend some more time in your career where you could build a 401k and you have some, maybe. But my point is, to me, just on the outside looking in without knowing all the details, it just seems easy. And maybe that's me. Maybe I don't understand how the system completely works, and that's a fair point. But just from the outside looking in, it doesn't seem to be great. Even I remember walking schools. Obviously, I'm in the real estate industry, and we deal with buildings and maintaining them and all the time. Walking some of these buildings of the schools, and like there's got weeds everywhere. And this particularly, we're talking about when I was in Oregon. You got weeds everywhere. It smells like urine, and you're like, why? It should never be like this. You got lead and asbestos materials in the schools, and it's like, why? Again, this is something to me that just doesn't seem to be that difficult. And I know I've heard over the years all the money goes to the top, like the administration and all that stuff. If you're in the school, like school administration, teachers unions, blah 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 blah. I don't know. I've never actually sat down and looked at the numbers and the budgets. I don't care to have that conversation. What I do care about is, despite that, we need to fix the problem. And the problem is making it more appealing and affordable for teachers to be able to get into a simple home. That's it. My solution is create a program just like the veteran program, to where the VA loan, you can get a VA loan for a house and put zero down. I think that gives them a little bit of an advantage to be able to get a house. That's my 2 cents on that. This story was, like I said, I wanted to cover it because it was like meaningful to me. So let's continue on. Let's close it out.
She plans to pull money from her 401k.
I'll have to start over. I have to start saving again, maybe even get a second job, which I have done in the past.
The city of Atlanta is exploring another option.
It's 100% intentional.
Ron Bate is the head of RBH Group, the developer behind Atlanta's Teachers Village. The project will ultimately provide housing for teachers and seniors, replacing downtown parking decks with a high-rise offering tiered rent for educators.
Putting them in luxury housing in the center of the city, near mass transit, and in units they can afford is absolutely the mission.
But with work still to go, Clacy wants other teachers to know what it takes as she continues her search.
I'm excited about home ownership because that is the American dream. So I really look forward to just having my own space and just have friends over and just.
Yeah, I don't think it's wrong. Sorry if you guys can't see me. My camera's just being streaky these days. Another option is, clearing out your 401k to do some type of down payment. I get it. I don't know that I would recommend it. Just yanking that much money out of the market to go buy a house. I mean, she says she'll have to start over. That's a lot of time to try and recover. I think I would recommend teachers, if they can qualify for, this is just my 2 cents, just a guy on the internet. I'm not giving you financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. These are just random thoughts from a guy on YouTube. But one of the things that I would do is, or recommend, if you can qualify for a FHA loan, 3.5% down, or 3.5 to 5% down, and then you could try and, you know, buy a primary home. If you can, buy a multifamily and house hack it, meaning you can buy a duplex, live on one side, rent the other side out, uh, and let the other side, your tenants, pay for your living costs. And then after that, after a year or more, if you want to stay there, it could be you can move out, rent it out. Now you have an income property. You can go buy another house, do whatever you want to do. And there's multiple ways to get off into that. I'm not going to get off into the strategy in this video, but my point is, like, if you're going to wipe out your 401k, you better have a really good plan for it, as opposed to just wiping out to go buy your dream house. I don't know if I don't agree with that, actually. Don't think you should do that. And I get we get excited about owning real estate. I love real estate. I'm a real estate guy, but that's not something I would advise anyone to do these days. So you got to be smart about it. And there is a strategy I would do it for, but not that. If I'm wiping out my 401k, it's to buy a multifamily and go from there. So anyway, that's my thoughts on it. Still don't know why we can't figure it out. It seems pretty solvable to me, but that's just me. I don't know all the details. And I'm just a guy here on YouTube. Please don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Take care. Bye.